Hey y'all, it's Troyer. Today I'm going to be painting my motorcycle tank. I laid it down in Kansas in 2019. Painful memories, but I've recovered from a fractured collarbone. Actually, let me see if I can show on camera. I don't know if the lighting will be conducive, but you got, there we go. I don't know if you even want to see that, but the collarbone healed back a little deformed. Well, my bike is a little deformed too. Thankfully, this won't buff out, but the tank on my bike pretty much will. So I just I use fiberglass filler and then body filler on top of that, and I rode it last summer unpainted, and the filler held up. It did not crack, didn't separate at all. I sanded everything, pretty much contoured it as well as I could. A body shop would have been able to do it better, but nobody wanted to touch the tank for some reason, so pretty much left on my own with the option of either doing it myself or trying to find a new tank online for $1,000 in good shape. I did find an 03 or an 04 tank for a Victory Vegas that I bought, but they have a different fuel pump. So if you need an 03 to 04 Victory Vegas fuel tank, or you know somebody that does, it's black, it's in perfect condition. It's got one tiny scratch. I'd have to look at it again, but you have to know it's there to see it. So if you know somebody that needs a fuel tank and they can't find one, I have one, and I would be willing to sell it for market value. Anyways, so today we're gonna just paint it. I'll try to help you. I'll try to film kind of film the process so that you can follow along, and it's going to be simple. It's going to be cheap. I spent a total of less than $100 on the materials. I have 3 spray cans. I have a 2K primer. I have a 1K, and if you don't know what that means, it's not a big deal. I'll explain later. I have a 1K base coat, and the only black that I could find on 66autocolor.com was like a Harley Davidson black color. So I figured it is plenty close enough. Black is kind of black, I hope. Here we have the tank. You can see I've scuffed the whole thing up. Body damage there. You can see it's pretty well contoured. Anyway, you'll be able to really tell afterwards. But just wanted to give you an idea of what the damage is like beforehand. The floor is covered in dust because it's a shop. You could probably do a lot better than this by yourself in your own garage, but because of the outside temperature, this is what I have to work with, and we're gonna make it work. So the point is, if I can do it here, and if this turns out, then you should be able to do it pretty easily on your own as well. Dude,
what's up?
Just wiping it down.
Nice.
Getting a little footage.
Oh, it's on. It's filming.
Yep.
Dude.
Cool. So Jiraiya just showed up to help. So we're gonna smoke a couple cigars in between coats.
That's right.
And
oh, I see a spot. Let me get that.
yeah, go ahead and just.
Dude, is this actually pretty good for the climate, or is it dusty though?
It's gonna be probably a little dusty, but it'll work. You're probably recommended that you wear a respirator spraying paints. We're not going to. We know we don't want to hear it. So
real men don't need respirators.
all right. So with the 2K systems, it has a bladder inside here with a hardener. So what you do is, I've shaken this for 2 minutes without the hardener. Then you take the cap, pop side of the cap, you take this little deal, put it right in there, and then you press it. Or you put it on the floor. Maybe I don't weigh enough. Or maybe it did puncture it. Yeah, it seems to have punctured it. I don't know. I'm doing this for the first time. I just watched a YouTube video on it. So I guess we're in the same boat. Now, shake it for another 2 minutes.
You are?
Yeah.
So I've got my Amish friend David. He can't speak English yet, so I'm his translator. So just relying on me to understand what he's saying.
All right. So what you do still do?
All right, what we're gonna do here
Is it till the spray pattern test to do?
We're gonna test the spray pattern.
That's not too slim.
That's not too bad.
That's a huge step for me. He's not long gedenkt weet test.
It's a big step, and I've thought about this for a long time.
En ik vind het zo trouw als ik kan dit share met alle mij.
And I'm so happy I could share this with all of you guys.
This thing is such a beast room spinning in the lucht.
This thing's just spinning around in the air.
Okay, we know exactly what we got to do on this too.
We know exactly where we're gonna start.
Okay.
Okay.
Dug it.
Here it goes.
Frick. Translate that. Amen.
Inappropriate language.
Oh, that's not good apparently. On my hip stinks at base some spray it's not gonna do.
If we hold it sideways, it's not gonna spray quite right. I like those fumes, man.
Okay, this is een hässliche issue, de week is this thing which spins in the lucht.
It's just a huge issue the way this thing spins around.
Oh, leave me niet onder de hele hoor.
I get all the small corners.
Sure my office. Luft schnappen door them.
Make sure we're gonna breathe out all this air.
Alright, nou warm op 10 voor de 10 minuten, we zien was get. En nu het allemaal de tweede coat eruit.
We're gonna wait about 5 or 10 minutes to see how it goes, and then we're gonna put the second coat on. So look really good.
Okay, I did 3 coats of primer, and let me actually bring you in here and see if you can see the texture at all. You can definitely see the mark there. Now that it's all painted, you can see for sure where the damage was, but oh well. I could have gotten that better with Bondo, but I had so much time invested in it that it just wasn't worth it to me. Okay, can you see the texture? That's what I'm trying to get out. So I'm just gonna sand this with this is 1000 grit. This showed you already before, but this is 66autocolor.com Harley Vivid Black. This is a 1K coating. This is a 1K coating compared to the 2K, so this does not have the hardener in it. But for base coat, I'm told that you don't have to have the hardener. So here we go. Whew. Moment of truth. I always want to do the nervous rattle. Can you even, are you actually properly painting something if you're not constantly shaking the can? I don't know, but we can find out. Let me test the spray pattern actually. Bring it over here to show you guys. That is nice. out of a spray can, I'm very impressed. All right, here we go. The first coat will look kind of blotchy like that. I'm told not to worry about it. Woo, that was thick. I'm also forgetting to do the 50% overlap. Get right back in there a little bit. There are a couple spots in here that are kind of hard to get, but try to get them. All right. So the process continues. In commercial roofing, there is a principle called holidays. If you stop spraying the coating on the roof and you let it, if the spray dries, boy, that's blotchy. And then you come back and you start up again, there will actually be a visible line where you can tell the difference, slightly different color. So I'm going to attempt to avoid holidays. Probably going too thick, I just don't know. I guess we're gonna all find out. And I'm gonna try to get blacked all the way inside here so we're not looking at that ugly primer gray every time we take the tank off. I think that's pretty good for the first coat. Probably should not be laying it on anymore, but I can't stop myself. This is so fun. And I'm gonna spray a little bit on that tape. And the reason for that is I'll go outside for a few minutes, and then when I come back in, I'll touch that tape where I sprayed. And if it's kind of stringy and it's kind of sticky, it's not ready yet. But if it's just barely tacky to the touch, it should be good. Although, wow, it is drying insanely fast in here. So I'm gonna give it 5 minutes and I'll come back for the next coat, just to make sure those really heavy areas aren't bad. Okay, for some reason, the professionals use what they call a tack rag, where they basically, from my understanding, from my limited research, they wipe it down between coats sometimes, totally dry. Wipe it down to prevent, I guess, dust or something. I don't know, it seems like a good idea. Begin again. Ho, ho, ho. It is a dang good thing I did not just do that. That's primer. I wish I could have seen the look on my face though if I had sprayed that. Just straight gray. Whew. A little nerve-wracking, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, here we go. Let's start on top again. Nice thing about YouTube and posting anything on YouTube is that you probably are going to get a free education on everything you did wrong. Oh, it's my wife.
Oh, hello YouTube.
Come on in. The camera is rolling. Although I can't really in good conscience have William breathing this.
Yeah.
So I would recommend you go, but you should say hi for a second, so you should come over here. It's on the light.
Hi.
This is my wife, Anna, who you've met before, and this is William. Hi, son. Hey, son. I'm so sorry, son. Daddy can't take you at the moment. All right, y'all should go outside for a second, but you can go this door. It's really nice out there. I'm almost done with this second coat of base, so then I'll be out. Okay, I think I pretty much got everything. Oh boy. It's actually turning out to be quite a challenge. This little spinning action is causing me some grief. But check that out. That seems to be pretty nice. Okay, remember I made some comment about tack cloths and not fully understanding why they're necessary. Well, there's no dust in here, right? So I thought surely it seems like overkill. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up. Maybe there's a little hair right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that clears that issue up in my mind, and hopefully yours too. Doesn't matter how careful you try to be or how controlled your environment, it is worth tacking it between coats. Let me do the rattle can shake. And another thing, between sprays, you want to tip the can upside down and spray it until the paint stops coming out to clear the nozzle. And I have been completely forgetting to do that. If this works out, it should be evidence that basically the old saying, if I can do it, anybody can, is relatively true. Because this is not ideal circumstance. And it is far from ideal skill level. So seriously, if this turns out, if I can do it, anybody can. And this is already many times better than it was before. So this is actually ridiculously simple and easy. So here we go. Sanding must not be the cardinal sin that I just was led to believe online. Wasn't it Abraham Lincoln that said not to believe everything you hear online? Okay, let me show you what's going on here. So I decided to sand the base coat anyways because there was a pretty big disparity in the textures. So let me show you what's going on now that I've sanded it a little bit. I'm gonna do the whole thing, but you see how we've got higher gloss over here, and then you can see right where I've sanded. It's leaving a mottled kind of a texture. Pretty much showing the highs and lows. I don't know what to do about that. Will that, I mean, lick my thumb and wet it. It doesn't seem to change color when it's wet. So I don't know if that is going to show through the clear. I hope I didn't just commit a major faux pas, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. But I'm kind of at a point where I'm not sure. A little bit out of my depth here. Just kind of stabbing in the dark. I don't have a spray bottle either. So this video should be called Trust Me. If Troyer did it this way, you can do it better. Worst case, I just do the whole thing over again, right? And this is only 1,000 grit. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I should be using 2,000. That's what I got. So I'm going to do it and see what happens. Okay, I am going to try just a little section here with the clear and see what it does. Let me test the pattern first. Okay. Oh, dude, totally good. Huh, that is a relief because I was a little bit worried. All right, so we have a problem. We have a little bit of a running issue. I am getting really tired, and honestly, hate to admit this, but I think that not having a respirator is gonna make me feel like shit. So I'm going to spray this again, and then I'm gonna leave it with 3 good coats, and I'm gonna go home and let this thing cure overnight. No real texture to it. There are a few areas. Okay, so that run, actually that helped it. The run is less pronounced. Wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to get worse, but that's actually extremely encouraging. So overall, very happy. Here there is some texture, a little bit of orange peel down here, but I will buff this thing afterwards, so should not be an issue. Well, you can see my reflection in this tank for the first time in several years. Super nice. But again, this area, just glorious. I think I was encouraged to see that when I sprayed over those runs, they actually improved rather than got worse. So I'm going to attempt it again with the most obvious one first. It's surprising, but it seems to actually make it better. One area that gets scuffed a lot is down here from your pant legs. So on the Victories, I'm gonna try to get that a little extra because I will end up buffing that more than some of the other areas on the bike in the future. I'm so happy with this. I am so stinking happy. It's not perfect. There are some little areas, you know, that are like, kind of looks like pinholes. I don't know how to explain that, but getting all that overspray right on the camera. That's it. Whew. Stepping outside. The air is hazy. Whew. Not out here. It's a couple days later because I got so busy with work and it's been raining, so I didn't want to bring the bike out and set it in the sun. Plus, I'm giving this paint a little bit of time, this clear coat a little bit of time to really cure. And that can take several weeks. It totally depends on who you ask. Everybody's full of crap. You just have to sort through it and find what's true and what's not. But regardless, I decided not to wax it for the time being. I want to give it probably a month after painting before I wax it. I don't think I can go wrong with that, but according to some people, I can go wrong with waxing it right away because it locks in, it traps in the moisture. So I'm gonna let that clear coat really cure before I wax it. But enough of that, let me show you the bike. I gotta be honest, if I didn't know, of course now that I've done this body work, I have more of an eye for it, so I would notice stuff on other bikes, but, and I have a real eye for detail anyways, Some people have called me an anomaly detection specialist before, but it's pretty accurate. We got some dust on here. I wiped it down with the microfiber, but it's all staticky, so it left some dust. Anyway, I buffed it, polished it. So now that you've seen that, I'll go over the problems with this paint job and the things that went wrong and the things you can still tell. So obviously, aside from the bodywork, you can tell, you can see the little ripple here, perhaps. I don't know. It's not super obvious. You would have to know it's there kind of to know it's there. Maybe you can, I don't know. Regardless, so problems with this paint job. The only thing I really ran into, so I actually ran into two things. Can you see the texture? That texture, might not be able to really see it in the video, but it's not glass smooth like on the factory paint. That is like, it needs to be buffed and polished, but that's glass smooth. Up here, there's a texture to it. Difficult to see. I don't know how it'll come out into the video, but basically that was just me. I should have wet sanded the base coat all the way smooth if I wanted to get that clear finish. Anyway, so got that. That was one issue. Another thing was some paint runs. Yeah, you can see that a little bit when I move back and forth right there. Clear coat runs, I mean. So then there was another one right there. I don't know how easy that is to see. Another slight one down here. I got most of them out, so they were actually kind of embarrassingly bad. The clear coat ran a lot. Took longer between coats, so I had a couple runs. You'll have to look up your own videos on how to get rid of that. That's what I did. Super easy. Okay, you take a whatever, do your own research on that. There are plenty of good videos out there. So last thing that I'm not happy with on this tank, there's some pinholes here, and I have no idea what that came from. Absolutely no idea how to explain that. There's that one, that. I don't know if it was a speck of dust that formed a bubble somehow. It's just kind of annoying, but for a rattle can, for a do-it-myself, because the body shop would not do it for me, and to save some money for 96 bucks, I think, I'm stoked. Super happy. That is what I'm talking about. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Oh, sneak preview here. Let me see, what do we got? Bunch of good stuff in here. Never mind. That's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped teach you that you don't have to do it perfectly. If you want to have a $1,000 paint job or whatever, you know, a body shop quality paint job, and you're able to pay for it, that's awesome. If for some reason you don't want to pay for it, or it's just not worth quite that much to you, and you want to do it yourself, you can get some really good results. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped you. And shit, I'm gonna do some cutting here. What else was I trying to say? Looks like the storm's rolling in. I might have to get the bike out of here. Got snow in the mountains. Probably in the next video, I'll have an installation video of putting the Lexan FT4 Pro into my helmet, and then maybe do a little ride review. The FT4 has been a great setup for me, so super excited for the FT4 Pro. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching.